quiet betrayal. Harold Klein was 62, retired, and married for nearly 40 years. He had spent decades measuring himself against time, achievement, and the quiet authority that comes from a lifetime of work. He had taught history in a suburban New Jersey high school, a man who knew the rise and fall of empires yet had never fully grasped the subtle collapse of his own life. His house, once alive with children and laughter, now seemed vast and hollow. Hallways echoed with memories, the furniture arranged meticulously not out of taste but out of habit, each object a marker of a life that was slowing, shrinking, becoming incidental. Ellen had been the center once, the auburn-haired girl he had kissed across the dorm room bed, the one who smoked menthol cigarettes with fearless precision. She had made him feel like a trespasser in a land of confidence, and he had loved her all the more for it. Marriage had changed her. Motherhood had changed both of them. Yet, she retained a subtle energy, a vitality that he could no longer claim for himself. He sensed it in her gestures, the way she straightened her posture when she didn't think he was looking, the way she chose her words, her perfume lingering in the kitchen after she passed. Then he saw the message. Last night was perfect. Can't stop thinking about you. Harold did not reach for the phone. He did not read further. The words were enough. They burned into his chest, a truth he had suspected but was unwilling to confront. He stared at his reflection in the mirror the next morning, tracing the sagging skin, the dull eyes, the soft jawline. What had happened to the man she had loved? What had happened to the man he thought he still was? He walked the streets as if under indictment, noticing couples who smiled too easily, neighbors who waved, children who played. Everywhere he looked, the world seemed to continue in a lightness from which he was excluded. The betrayal was not simply hers. It was his own, a failure to understand the impermanence of love, the betrayal of self, the slow erosion of desire. At night, he lay beside her, imagining her body with someone else. The thought was unbearable, yet it was not the other man who wounded him. It was her. Her capacity for pleasure, her ability to move, to desire, to remember her own vitality. And in that imagining, Harold mourned not just the betrayal, but the man he had become, older, weaker, less necessary. Days passed. Ellen grew livelier, her schedule suddenly full of meetings, lunches, and evenings out. Harold noted her new lipstick, the careful attention to her hair, the subtle shifts in her wardrobe. He did not ask questions. He only watched, a silent observer in his own life, cataloging every motion, every glance, every nuance as evidence. He found a letter on the kitchen counter. He opened it carefully. I can't stop thinking about you. Last night, that was enough. He folded it and walked to the window. Outside, the street lay quiet, leaves stirring in the wind. Life continued indifferent, and Harold realized that his suffering had less to do with her than with himself. He had trusted permanence. He had believed love could be frozen, secured. He had been wrong. At dinner that evening, he finally spoke. Ellen, he said. His voice was calm, though his hands shook. We need to talk. About what? She asked, calm, almost amused. About us. About what we've become. She did not deny it. She did not defend herself. She only smiled, the kind of smile that made a man feel both insignificant and foolishly fond. They ate in silence. He studied her face, recalling the auburn-haired girl who had kissed him first, the young woman who had once chosen him above all else. And he mourned the man he had been, the man capable of command, desire, and action. Late that night, he sat on the edge of the bed, hands clasped, thinking about time, the body, and the decay of certainty. His mind wandered to his father, who had once told him, "A man is only as good as the woman who still wants him." Harold had dismissed it as chauvinism. Now he understood it as prophecy. He thought of his own failures, the small betrayals of habit, the indifference, the tired sighs he no longer noticed. He had betrayed himself first, long before Ellen sought another's attention. The house was quiet except for the tick of the clock and the hum of the refrigerator. The world outside was indifferent, mysterious, unanswerable. In bed, Harold closed his eyes. He did not know what tomorrow would bring. Forgiveness? Rage? Flight? Perhaps nothing at all. And yet, there was a strange relief in that uncertainty. A faint comfort in knowing that life moves on, indifferent to human suffering, mysterious, and, in its own way, true. He drifted into a restless sleep, haunted by questions with no answers. Could a man survive betrayal when he has already betrayed himself? Could love endure beyond memory, beyond desire, beyond time? The night stretched endlessly, leaving only thought, reflection, and the quiet calculus of loss. Harold Klein, at 62, understood finally that life was neither cruel nor kind. Simply was.